Hello friends, this is Coldrun. Welcome back to a blind playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV's Dawntrail expansion, where we're ready to start the 7.1 MSQ, the little patch content. A royal invitation. Bol Baruch is Woo Rook. That's gotta be a tongue twister. It is a tongue twister. Is eager to hear how you've been getting on. Pleasure as always, Kukushu. Have you been able to relax lately? Emphatic nod. Wonderful. As busy as you've been with the rite of succession among other things, you deserve an opportunity to experience Tuliolal at a more leisurely pace. Sampling the tacos at Shabalyav Kie is one way to do so. They're made the traditional way and laden with fillings and are absolutely sublime. If you have an empty stomach, the owner Brook Ava will look after you. So I get that it's not technically product placement, because they're not like, oh, talk to Brook Ava and the new Taco Bell Nachos Grande will be are your tacos to go for your tacos that'll fill you up, right? But even so, even without a specific product placement, this feels like it just makes me want tacos a lot more. I've eaten more tacos since starting Dawntrail than I have in a long time. Brookhaven, well, if it isn't Kukushu, alone today, are you? Yeah, but I'm dangerous. I see. If you have a hankering for tacos, they're on the house. I wish. Consider it a token of... I wish I could get free tacos. Consider it a token of gratitude for your help tracking down those treasures. Go ahead, find a table. I'll bring you your meal as soon as it's ready. The dungeon here is just going to be like a taco dungeon. Navigating how do we ingest as many tacos as possible. Ooh, that one has got like avocado on it. Gregarious man, you still love tacos, I hope. You ate so many when you turned 5, you could barely move afterwards. Remember that? They can't be talking to me. Okay. Father-son or brothers? No, not really. That was 30 years ago for me. Right. Sorry, it's still strange for me too. Just the other day, you were a little boy clinging to your mother's skirt as soon as you set off for Yassulani, and now you're a man full grown with a face full of hair. Even so, I knew you were my son the instant I saw you. We're still family, and you can always rely on me. They look... Well, I guess, I mean... He's 30, so that was 30 years ago. So the gregarious man is talking from 30 years ago. No, sorry, the kid was talking from 30 years ago. The son, rather, it's not a kid, was talking about 30 years ago. So if, let's say, the father got married, or the father had a kid fairly young, let's say 19, 18, then the father on the left is like in his late 40s? Late 40s to 50s? I guess, could be. Oh, no, this is the gregarious man. No, this is the disheartened man. What? Relying. That feels like the only thing I'm doing right now. This guy looks like 7 times older than the other guy. On you and everyone else. I can't even start a fire without assistance at my new job. Back in Alexandria, we had That's why. I forgot about this. There's the time skip. That's why they look the same. Okay. Back in Alexandria, we had Electrope. If I needed fire, all I had to do was press a button. Everything was at our fingertips. But here I'm helpless, a culinarian who can't even light the stove. The way the others in the kitchen stared at me, gods, I've never felt so embarrassed. This is really cool to be looking at. I'm sorry to hear that. I've been told the tales, but it seems life is really different within the dome. My wife and children, I was thinking I'd have them join me once things had settled, but at this rate, got to be the same age as your parent this is an experience for this person, I'm sure. I say you send for them. If they're your family, then they're mine too. I'll do whatever's necessary to make it work. I didn't mean to overhear, but it seems you're having trouble readjusting to life in Tuliolal. Valwuklamot? She's very hands-on. To aid folk like yourself, we've established a support group at the Wing of Reflection. There you can learn the skills you need to live outside the dome. What a great idea. Because it really has to be like... I don't know, like, I mean, like if I were to try to go and all of a sudden live in Tualahiolal, like, right? I mean, like, I know some stuff, but I wouldn't know the first thing about, like, I mean, I just turn my cooking, my culinarian skills, or I turn on the slow cooker. It isn't easy being back, I know, but I'm hopeful they can make things easier. That's exactly what I need. I'll definitely seek this group out, and I'll bring my family with me. Thank you. Oh, look who it is. I was just about to go and find you, Kukushu. You don't mind the company, I hope. I could use a bite to eat myself. So I'm lucky in that I know nothing about this. I know almost nothing about this patch. I know the dungeon has challenging mechanics. What the nature of those challenging mechanics are, I'm not sure. But I'm excited. The tacos here never disappoint. So what have you been up to lately? Catching up on sleep, helping out around Wachumeki Meki, exploring Terral with my trusty alpaca, or finishing off the Elden Ring DLC. Let's go with exploring Terral with my trusty alpaca. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of the hunt missions just to level up my healers. My sage at the moment. I'm glad that the spitting devil is serving you well and you're still enjoying seeing the sights. As for myself, I think it's as for me. As for myself, I'm being kept, I guess either could work. I'm being kept busy with duties at the palace, but whenever I find a moment, I like to walk the streets and talk to people. That way I can better understand the problems they have and share them with Kona to figure out solutions. I was on one such walk just now, and as mentioned, I was hoping to find you. Kona and I have something we want to discuss with you as Dawn servants. Do you have time to come to the palace? We can't avoid a summon we can't dodge a summon from your Royal Highness. Great, I'll go on ahead. Please come and join us once you're finished here. See you in a minute. I've done a job change. Pictomancer is great and all, but again, Red Mage is my happy place. Oh, you're all here too. Not necessarily my good place. I'm not good at any of the jobs, but it is my most fun, my most comfortable. Alize, Valkona summoned us. Though, if truth be told, Alphino and I have been seeing him quite regularly of late. Alphino, he asked us to share our knowledge of Hanish culture. You see, in hopes of further strengthening your alliance. We were of course happy to oblige him. Kyle and I were likewise summoned, otherwise we've been carrying on with our work, compiling information on the Golden City. My grandfather embarked on his investigation 20 years ago. With our report, we shall finish what he started. So we're going back to the Golden City. There's a few routes that we can go with the patch content. We can do stuff with the keys, but that feels like it's setting up the next expansion more than anything else. Are they really going to do another reflection-based thing? I wonder. Lest you wonder, Thancred and Urianger have left to resume their tour of Terral. Y'shtola, meanwhile, is back to researching cross-rift travel. Do you want to borrow the key? She was here just a few days ago to get Kona's permission to investigate living memory. By the way, she mentioned wanting to take a look at the key and you're keeping at some point. She did mention the key. She does want to borrow it. If the look she had in her eyes was any indication, I suggest you brace yourself for when she comes calling. You're like to be stuck with her for a while. There are worse things than being stuck with Y'shtola. Alphino, as for Estinian, we know neither where he is nor what he's doing. Some things never change. Is he coming in the room? What's happening? Oh no, it's Kona. My apologies for the delay. Apology not accepted. Think nothing of it. We took advantage of the time to catch up. So, what can we do for you? Hopefully present company is enough for whatever it is you need. I'll push up my glasses as well. The matter for which I have summoned you pertains to Alexandria. A state funeral will soon be held in Solution 9 to mourn the passing of Queen Sphene. King Gulool Ja, what a weird sentence. For your phrase, rather, and his administration have invited us to attend. King Gulool Ja's administration. His administration is like a pack of Pokemon cards. It's not, I know, but he's so little. While certain issues remain unresolved between our nations, such as the treatment of Yassulani, I see no reason not to attend. I thought Yassulani were treated well there. For generations, Alexandrians lived without even the awareness of death. I wouldn't have expected them to have funeral rites still. Maybe they're trying to reintroduce it. Apparently, the members of Oblivion unearthed records of ceremonies that were conducted in the Alexandria of old. It was they who put forth the proposal that the Queen be thus honored. Leave it to that lot to think of such things. That's a smart idea, to use like older funeral rites for that. The people of Alexandria no longer forget the departed. They're being confronted with the idea of death for the first time. I suspect our friends wanted to do something for them. Yeah, I mean, it's hard enough for, like, you know, when you're a kid and you learn that Fluffy was sent to a farm upstate as your first experience with death. Here, they're full-on adults, or at least some of them are, full-on adults, and it's like a major figure in their lives. I guess Fluffy was a major figure in a kid's life, too. Yeah. Though Sphene was but a simulacrum, she was nonetheless a pillar for her people. The pain of her passing must run deep. And it's got to be a mixed feeling. Like, sure, they care for her deeply and they loved her, but to know what she was doing, like, there's a sort of betrayal there, isn't there? Indeed, a funeral will give Alexandrians the chance to come together to express their grief, that they might overcome it. I wasn't sure at first, but I've decided to go. Not only to be there for Gulool Ja, but to put this chapter behind us. I'm surprised you were ever remotely thinking of not going. That I requested your presence was none other than to see if you wished to attend the funeral. You knew Sphene as well, after all. You killed her. That would be inappropriate. Sometimes I wonder if there wasn't another way. I'll say I think I should go too, because I don't think it's inappropriate. I think we left on good terms before she died, and I don't think that people hold it against me, really. So I don't really wonder if there wasn't another way. I think it was right that she die, that she be killed. I think I should go too. Being my awesome rose rapier. Because you consider yourself responsible for her demise, I take it. But no, I don't, I mean, partly, but I think she's mostly responsible for her demise. But that's not a burden you bear alone. Kukushi wouldn't believe that, though. I think anytime you kill someone, it's really hard to get that perspective on... I don't have... Just to be clear, I don't have experience with killing people, but, like, I imagine that for someone like Kukushu, it would be... Even if you know it was right to kill someone, it's hard to not feel, like, guilt about it. I mean, Kukushu has the blood of thousands on her hands, though. Like, how many bandits and stuff has she killed? Here's my idea. As vow, I'll attend the funeral as a representative of Tuliolal. Meanwhile, you can go in a personal capacity and watch over the people as they mourn. Feed on their tears. Drink their sadness. Be energized. I feel the rest of us should go too. Regardless of the reason, the fact remains that we deprived Alexandria of a beloved ruler. It's only right that we remember who Sphene was, to her people and to others, so let us stand with you. Yeah, I won't say no to company here. Then it's decided. Let's go to Solution 9 and look for Gulool Ja in the back room. Oh, I'm thinking of back room. I was mixing the back room up with True View. No, back room you have to go through the bar, but... Gulool Ja's, he's not going to be drinking. He's fine. The Neon Stein, that was the place I was thinking of. Crossroads, look at that. You got a crystal there forming Sort of like a vertical cross between the A. Crossroads, I guess, is the name of the patch. I'm honestly surprised that there's not an influx of Turali citizens who want to live in Solution 9, who want to move here, because life just seems so much easier here. But again, I say that from sort of a Solution 9 setting in, you know, modern-day United States, relatively speaking. Hi, you came for the funeral. Hi, Gulool. Of course. I'm the only one who will officially take part, though. The others will watch over the proceedings. So how have you been? It's been a while since my last visit. I'm good. Shale is always teaching me new things. Recently, I've learned about Everkeep systems and the mechanical soldiers. It's knowledge I'll need to use my authority properly. Studious as always, I see. By way of a treat, I've brought you a gâteau au chocolat. It's a kind of cake. I think you'll like it. Thank you, Lamati. The little hand wave. So cute. And thank you for coming. I've never been to a funeral before, so I feel less nervous having you here. Alize, out of curiosity, what's the custom in Alexandria? In our world, it's common to offer flowers to the departed. Shale, it's much the same here according to the records. Flowers will be distributed to all attendees. Considering that all worlds used to be one, the practice of offering flowers may well share the same ancient origin. Fascinating, wouldn't you say? It is, and this is the second time this whole concept has been brought up. It's more than the second time, but it's the second time recently it's been brought up, because that was a core focus of the Tender Valley quest. Aquapazza. What's aquapazza? Fresh fish and mollusks, sautéed in a frantoio oil, then simmered in a mezcal and tomato broth. This sounds amazing. And I mean, the ACQ, yeah, this has got to be a real Italian dish, like based off a real Italian dish. I don't even care what the stats are. I'm not a tank, but that sounds great. Gulool Ja has been added to the Unending Codex, and Tural. And the Right of Succession. Oh no, Gulool Ja hasn't been added. Gulool Ja has been added. So, Gulool Ja was fortunate to encounter Kettenram, the Eorzean explorer. The friendship he forged with the outsider opened his eyes to the world beyond the forest, encouraging him to depart Mamuk and its restrictive traditions. This is really interesting. Kettenram, it feels like I know was meant to be a main character, and I feel like I know so little about him. I was suspicious. I thought there was something sus about him because he came so out of nowhere in the story. But no, I guess not. But he was clearly like central to Gulool Ja's life. Alexandria Mourns. The flowers are being handed out at Praxis Park. I'm thinking of heading over there now. We'll join you. There's a man I'd like to speak with, Gosan. He was apparently Spheen's aide, the one who sent us the invitation. Let's go. Gosan, I don't think we've met him before. And should I be sus of him? Should I be suspicious of him? Because if he was like Spheen's right hand person, Spheen's like main aide, how much behind all the attacks was he? He's probably fine, but it does make me a little bit wary of him. Why, so is he... And the fact that he's older makes me concerned as well. Not concerned... I'm older too, but like, I guess here's the thing. Here's why I'm wary of him, because if he's older, he's probably been with Spheen for much longer and probably was much more invested in her than someone who was very young. That's my concern. I'm Vawuklamat of Tuliolal. Thank you for extending to us an invitation to Queen Spheen's funeral. We are honored, truly. I had seen you before from a distance, but never had the pleasure. I am Gosan, former chief aide to the Queen. Since her passing, I have been responsible for administering affairs of state. Okay, never mind. I think he's okay. Gosh, I'm judging a book only by its cover, and I'm judging it harshly. I have no idea what he is. He's been polite. He's been great. Okay. Can we get our flowers here? Yes, Your Majesty. The flowers are being handed out at the counter yonder alongside the regulators. What? We need to wear regulators for the funeral? Rest assured, they are not a requirement. We are aware your people do not use them. You see, people in the Alexandria of old wore tokens of mourning upon their persons when attending funerals. As such tokens were black, it was suggested we might wear regulators painted the same color. That's a good idea. Can the light be the same color? We've yet to produce enough to... I guess black light isn't really a thing. I know it's a thing, but not the way I'm thinking of it. We've yet to produce enough for everyone, but we're distributing them as we are able. I see. Yet regulator or no, the important thing is that we remember Queen Sphene. Remember her and her kindness as you make an offering of your flower. I will. The proceedings will soon begin in this plaza. Please take your place once you have your flower. I like that Gulool Ja's outfit hasn't changed, that he's still wearing what he was wearing before. I think he's wearing what he was wearing before. Look at that. That's kind of lovely. What must you be feeling right now, Gulool Ja? Overwhelmed? A little bit confused? Probably just mostly overwhelmed. Just a lot of feelings, I'm guessing. I like how in that she has her hands clasped there.
Although we are gathered here for the same reason, we hail from different lands. Some were born and raised in the Alexandria of old, while others came to us from Tuliolal. It was from this union of diverse peoples that a new Alexandria was born. The only home that our younger generation knows. How did we overcome the barriers between us? What moved us to join hands in common purpose beneath crackling skies? You know the answer. We survived. We thrived because Queen Sphene brought us together.
I would have loved to meet the real Queen Sphene. The one before she was a conglomeration of people's best memories.
Inspired and encouraged by her boundless kindness, we strove to be better. For ourselves as well as those around us.
And again, I think this was a real Queen Sphene, but it was not the initial one. I do believe this one was real, though.
And in Her Majesty's absence, there is a sadness beyond words. Yet we must. We will remember her. Remember all the good that she has done for us. So let us pray, as the people of the Old Kingdom once did, for the peaceful repose of the departed. And let us keep our beloved Queen forever in our hearts, that her memory might guide us unto the morrow.
Good speech, Gosan. Also, do they sell these jackets in the Square Enix store? Like all those like the jackets with like the rainbow things.
Would that I could find solace in my own words.
He was very sincere, and I appreciate that. I appreciate them showing that because we don't really know him, so we kind of need that extra. We don't need it, but I appreciate that extra bit to show us that he wasn't like, wahaha, the fools, they'll buy anything. Like, he was very sincere. Is that gesture, that thing, was that a 10 thing? No, the 10 gesture was like the ball gesture, right? Yeah. Like the one that, the thing that was like holding a blitz ball. Like that was the 10 gesture of greeting and prayer and like a bunch of stuff. He really, it's got Gulool Ja's, it's that Gulool Ja's connection with the city was so sporadic. Like, he flitted between the outskirts, the main area, but he was never like,
Was Queen Sphene taken to the cloud?
never like a part of it.
She must have been. To still remember her is strange, isn't it, darling?
And she's trying to, it's almost like she's trying to give comfort, but she's not coming from a place of experience with death the way that most adults were. This is, God, this is a really unique interaction we're witnessing here.
I miss her. She would always cheer me up when I was down. But even though I remember her, I'll never see her again. That doesn't make sense.
It seems that's what it means to die, I'm afraid.
Yeah, and because she's not saying that's what it means to die. She's like figuring this whole thing out along with her son, and she's doing great. But this is, oh gosh, this is so cool. This is so cool.
But what will happen to us? Are we just going to be sad forever?
Again, there's something I want to bring up right now, very specifically from Elden Ring's Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, which I will refrain. If you know, you know.
What will happen indeed? Everything that we have, we owe to Queen Sphene. How are we to go on without her?
I still remember Her Majesty so clearly. If only I didn't, I might feel better about the future of our realm.
Yeah.
Perhaps we should also consider moving to Tuliyollal. The journey won't be easy, but it'd be better than staying here in uncertainty.
Would it be? Hey, why didn't the Turali go to the 9 a.m. funeral? Because they weren't much of a morning person.
In times like these, I take comfort in the beliefs of a Turali people called the Yokui. To them, death isn't the end. So long as we're remembered, we never truly die.
The new version of the cloud.
It could be the same for Queen Sphene, you know? If you keep her alive in your hearts, she'll always be with you.
But we still won't be able to see her, right? I don't want to think about that.
You've never really had to miss anyone. I mean, because the world is pretty small here. You've really never had to miss anyone.
I wish I could just forget instead of having to feel like this.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to impose. Please, mourn your queen however you see fit.
I appreciate that, because there's no way to answer that. There's no advice that'll make that easier. In the short term. Hopefully this will help in the long term, but how do you respond to that? Oh.
As expected, they struggle to come to terms with their loss. I hope they can find a way to move forward.
It's not only grief that weighs on them, but worry for the future. Bereft of their queen, how will they proceed?
I mean, take a look to your right.
True. But with that at least, we're not powerless to help. What is it, Gulool Ja?
I was wondering, is it better to remember or forget someone when they're dead?
Dawntrail summarized right there, parts of it at least.
I remember my father, and every time I think of him, it hurts. It's the same with Queen Sphene. Knowing that she's gone makes me feel sad. But it's different with my mother. I never knew her, so I don't feel as bad.
Yeah, we brought this up before, like how I don't know if he has a mother. I mean, presumably he does, but with all the technology here, no, we would have heard something about it. It just never came up.
I want to remember my father, but maybe I'd be better off forgetting him.
I mean, I said, like, the question is part of the theme of Dawntrail, and it is, but it's also a question that usually has a pretty easy or direct answer outside of extreme circumstances for me, which is it's better to remember.
Gulool Ja.
If you were to forget, you're... Again, it depends on the... I don't... Like, there are awful people that you could be... I think it's more complicated than just it's always better to remember, but I think it's almost always better to remember.
Why don't we continue this somewhere else?
Gosan, where are you panning to? No, Sphene. And the boy and the mother. And these two people. Just two more mourners. The regulator that isn't sucking up any memories at the moment. Unless they're panning that person for a reason. I think they were just focusing on the idea of... on the idea of regulators now when they aren't removing memories. They're like cosmetic at this point, aren't they? Like, they're cosmetic and they give... they're not just cosmetic, because they still use up the souls that you have, but they no longer suck up memories. Hey, Gulool Ja, do you really know nothing at all about your mother? Shale searched the system for information on residents, but the only Mamulja she found listed were my father and me. Even if she died and was erased from people's memories, she should have been there, but she wasn't. Well, that you're here means she was there too, inside the dome. There can't be any other way about it. Is this something we're going to deal with? I thought it was just going to be left kind of as one of those things. Are we actually going to engage with this? Perhaps we should try looking at, do you want to know your mother? I think this is easily the more important question for right now. I think so. Even if it makes me feel sad, I want to know her. So I want to try looking again, and if I don't find anything this time, I'll give up. Narratively, that tells me we're going to find something. Well, no, this could be about the search and not the actual finding. I see. Well, if that's what you want. Then I'll help you. I'd like to help as well, and I believe I speak for the others too. I can't bother you with this. You already came for the funeral. We came here not only for the funeral, but to see whether all was well in Alexandria. We're not about to leave just yet. Besides, in seeking to learn more about your mother, we're bound to learn about your father as well. By retracing the steps of this man who kept his own counsel, we may gain knowledge that can serve the people of Alexandria. Big nod. All right. Thank you, everyone. Little nod. Lala nod. All right, Grahatia. In search of the past, Grahatia has an idea on how you may proceed with your investigation. Assuming neither memories nor records of Gulool Ja's mother remain, we must cast as wide a net as possible. I suggest we split Numidium Kagranak. What a great name that player's name is. Kukushu, if you could make inquiries in the outskirts, the rest of us will do the same in Solution 9. Let's do it. Oh, look at that. We got another red mage. How do we cheer for this person? Let's wiggle our ears at him. Excellent. Stormlord Numidium Kagranak. Middle-aged Yuweyawata. Sorry, but I've never heard of a Gulool Ja woman living in these parts, much less one connected to Teeshal Ja. You might have better luck talking to the people over at a Tanawautan settlement in the north of Everkeep, a place called Yuweyawata. I'm gonna have to take another shot at that. Let me see what that was. Yuweyawata. The resilient... damn it, no. The resilient son won their loyalty when he saved them from some crisis or another, so the story goes. If I remember correctly, their chief's name was Kanaloka. Your exchange with the middle-aged Yuweyawata has taught you about Teeshal Ja's devoted. Yeah, so some people were... I mean, he had to have won some people over by just... I mean, he became king. Even if he wasn't nearly the same force as Sphene was, I think he had to have some positive influence in some people's lives to gain some sort of support. Chatty Shatona. A Gulool Ja woman? Their people have never been a common sight around here. The last one I saw would have been before the dome came down over our heads. She was among an entourage of Landsguard that was dispatched here. I assume they all returned to Tuliolal after their mission. But if any remained, I suppose they could have been trapped in here with the rest of us. Your exchange with the Chatty Shatona has taught you about a Gulool Ja woman. I feel like we're playing Phoenix Wright, like I'm gathering evidence from conversations. There, it took me a little while to find this last one. Fresh-faced Yuweyawata. You're looking for a Gulool Ja woman? Oh, Gulool Ja's mother. I can't help you there, I'm afraid. I only know a little about Teeshal Ja, and then only what my father told me. He said that before the dome was cut us off from the outside world, a Teral Vidral had appeared and was terrorizing the region. In response, Teeshal Ja assembled a party of warriors, and with them confronted and felled the beast. It was interesting to hear of the king's feat in the past. We learned about a battle with a Teral Vidral. So was she like a fellow warrior in that party, maybe? Shale. Gulool Ja has told me all. We've previously tried to track down records of his mother, but came up empty-handed. With everyone's help, hopefully we can get somewhere this time. Yes, we got the notes. About a Gulool Ja woman who belonged to the Landsguard. A settlement located in Yuweyawata, whose people are said to be fiercely loyal to their king. And about a battle between Teeshal Ja and a mighty beast which occurred in Yasolani. Ah, so you spoke with quite a few different people as well. Let's combine all our findings and see what conclusions we might draw. So Gulool Ja brought a retinue of Landsguard to Yassolani, among whom was a female Gulool Ja. His mission was to rid the region of a Taral Vidral, and I believe it's safe to say that this was the crisis in Yuweyawata he resolved. If some of his troops stuck around for a time, perhaps to assist the villagers with recovery efforts, they could have indeed gotten trapped in the dome. Alizé, we also heard stories about the settlement in Yuweyawata. People lived there until nearly a decade ago, and Gulool Ja made regular visits. Alphino, if he required secrecy, a location home to his most loyal followers would be ideal. And if this Gulool Ja woman had remained there, they would have had occasion to come in contact. I see, but what could Gulool Ja have been doing in that village? I mean, he could have been coming into contact with her. I think we can answer that question. In order to retrace Gulool Ja's steps, Raha and I spoke with a researcher who worked at Orogenics. He said that approximately 20 years ago, a number of his colleagues were transferred to a research facility outside Everkeep, per the King's direct orders. This is the first I've heard of such a facility. Only Vanguard was believed to have been under the King's jurisdiction. It was apparently being used to develop a new kind of weapon, but I'm afraid that was all we could learn. It's plenty to go on. Even if the work there was classified, any materials and equipment needed would have been manufactured within Everkeep. So if we look into transportation records... Oh, I like the shoulder pad version of the Alexandrian symbol. I never noticed that. That's a cool icon. There it is. The routes are full of detours and attempts at obfuscation, but large deliveries were being made to Yuweyawata. Far too large for a mere village. There hasn't been any activity for years, though. It's likely the facility has been decommissioned. Is the facility going to be our dungeon? Do you think that's where my mom was? Where my mother was? We can't say for certain just yet, but I reckon there's a good chance. This is amazing! Even though no one remembers her, you managed to figure all this out. We are pretty impressive. Each piece of the puzzle may reveal little on its own, but when we put several together, a picture begins to form. And even should memories fade, footprints remain to mark the path of those who walked before, so they may lead those who walk after. Of course, it would be Graha that says that. A lesson I learned in another life. Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure if I was reading too much into it, but no, I'm not. So we'll be investigating the secret facility in Yuweyawata then. And this time I want you to come along, Gulool Ja. Yeah, you can tank for us. Yuweyawata is on the other side of the lake. To get there, you'll need to take a hover cargo from the Drift Downs. All right, thank you, Shale. So this is the place that I thought was going to be... No, this place has been... This was the entrance to Orogenics, wasn't it? No, I'm mistaken. I don't remember. So no, this was the place the dungeon to Orogenics, but I still don't remember. So the hover cargo will take us across the... No, this was. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was. It absolutely was. Probably was. I've never been over there before, across the lake. It's still inside the dome, so I don't expect it'll be too different from here. We'll likely encounter dangerous beasts, so the rest of us will go first. You follow when it's safe to do so, all right? All right. Be careful, everyone. Yuweyawata field station is now open. Oh, yes. Alright, I'm going to do this dungeon, or try to do this dungeon, because apparently it's really, really nasty, so we'll try it. Yeah, Alizé gets shut out a lot of these, and I think that's for the best. You know what, Alphino? No, Kryl.
I won't let you down.
Who do we bring here?
I stand ever ready.
Yeah, the twins can keep each other company outside. Oh, I need a higher level, higher item level. Music has not let me down so far. It's been a long time since 14 music let me down. A lot of electrically charged beasties and woodland critters. Gulool Ja. Anything to say? No, you're just waiting. My father must have come here for a reason. The lightning hasn't let up here either. There are beasts here too. Even the creatures here are electrified. Yeah. It's not just the music is unintrusive. The music is really good atmosphere. Because I was about to say the music is like atmospheric, which can sometimes be like a backhanded compliment to say like doesn't really stick out to me, but it's really good atmosphere. First boss coming up. We got a pig. No, that's not a pig, that's a dinosaur. That's a Zognol. Oh, that's a Zognol. Okay. These are like semi-behemoths, right? Or dinosaurs? I thought they were like behemoths. Maybe it's a version of a behemoth. Gore. Frontal charge, maybe? Caber toss. A tusk to the pillar with its... Ah! So it's going to blast out from there. Okay. Does that mean we want to get near there? Or no, get away from there. It's going to be a big AoE. And then it's going to keep going off. Ah! Let me cast! Okay, that's doable. It's trying something different. Raw electro emerges from the ground. Do we want to... What happens if we kill it? We want to get rid of it, I think. Maybe? No one else is hitting it. Maybe, are they hitting it? I don't know. They are hitting it.
Allow me.
What happens if it goes off? I don't know. I don't think it got off. So kill them before they explode. And I think probably the more power that they have... No, that just tells you how much time they have to die when there's multiple up. Yeah, that was a fun first fight. Kind of straightforward in a way that I don't dislike at all. Like, it was dodge the stuff, and I appreciate that. Yuweyawata hat of healing. Hey, you're ripping off my style. At least a little bit. So the facility is still here. What kind of research did they do here? Military stuff? So I don't know. Remote facility with a secret purpose. The Canaloka Corpus. Hardly any signs there was ever a village here. It could have been, I mean, I hope it's not related to, like, making Gulool Ja a blessed sibling or something like that. A blessed, whatever, blessed sibling. Research note. While His Majesty Gulool Ja is not the first to conceive of transferring a beast's soul into a person's body, safety and ethical concerns have ensured no earnest attempts have been made to date. Yet our king believes that there is no greater evil than to hinder the potential of man, and so he has ordered us to make this conception a reality. He would bolster our military might, I figured it was something military was more likely, and break through into the outside world. If our research will further this ambition, perhaps it's worth pursuing. Rotten Hound. Oh, that's... Look at that. Zombie doggos. Straight up Resident Evil here. Surprised they didn't bust through a window. Yeah, those are pretty grotesque. I've commented before about how they don't really look like dogs, but in this context, it actually works. Research note, our bodies are fragile vessels. Although the infusion of another person's soul confers strength and vitality, the soul of a beast yields mixed results. Even when stripped of memories, a feral soul can induce psychological instability in the subject. Yeah, we saw this back in Origenics. I suspect this is because primal instincts remain. And while a certain amount of bestial ferocity is expected, and I dare say welcomed, too many such souls can lead to physical mutations. For now, our objective shall be to determine the threshold beyond which a body is at risk of uncontrolled mutation. So try to do this as safely as possible. Look at that, there's still people there. Yeah, these are people, right? Are those bodies? They've got to be corpses at this point. Maybe? I hope. Eerie as hell. Rotten researcher. Oh gosh, hi. Yeah, the dead walk was spoopy. This is spooky. I mean, they're ghouls at this point. Yeah, look at them. God, the way they move and like amble about, that's creepy as hell. And their expressionless faces. Ugh. Giant horse. Why? What's on your head? Like a sack. A stitched on sack. Straight up horror stuff here. Research note. The rate of transfiguration may be dictated by the potency of the soul consumed. Can we get... Look at the handprints on the ground. Can we get Gulool Ja out of here? Gulool Ja out of here, rather? This is not the best place for him. He's had enough... I mean, at a certain point, you've had so much trauma that adding more on top of it is like... They're already... It's raining, they're already wet. What's some more water gonna get hurt? Wait, it's not like that at all. Never mind. The rate of transfiguration may be dictated by the potency of the soul consumed. We've experimented with fiends of great power, but mutations were observed after the infusion of merely a single soul. No better was this phenomenon illustrated than with poor Atticus. Sounds like a boss coming up. His body was altered irreparably, and he lost all capacity for rational thought. While the primary objective of the research was to... You were trying to use a Teeshal Ja for this infusion. Wow. The primary objective of this research was to utilize the soul of a Teeshal Ja. I struggle to see a path forward. An alternative approach must be considered. So it was too much. What's going to burst out of these doors? The answer is station specters. Oh, they're just crawling along.
Hold on.
Glass punch? What does that mean? Like punching glass, like to break out of something? I'm not quite sure why that's called glass punch. This is killing these things, because these station specters I usually think of as ghostly. This feels much more like barely surviving zombies. Yeah, this is... we're actually putting them out of their misery. What was Father doing here? Being himself. Yeah, just being himself. Straight up Resident Evil. This feels like it's drawing very directly on Resident Evil. I made a joke about the dogs earlier. This actually feels like a Resident Evil level. Translated into Final Fantasy XIV. Research note. If the source of our failures thus far has been the inability of our bodies to contain feral souls, what if we were to reverse this process? By purging a beast of its memories and infusing it with a man's soul, one still possessed of its own memories, we stand to gain absolute control over a vessel of great power. You want to put a person into a Teeshal Ja. My subordinate who first proposed this brilliant hypothesis shall have the honor of being the first to transcend our meager limits. I must prepare his soul for extraction at once. What a lucky duck that researcher is. Overseer Kanaloka. Okay, so you're the Overseer. I have a bad feeling about this. Yeah, Gulool Ja, get out of here, Gulool Ja. I mean, Wook is a great guardian. Oftentimes, this is not one of those moments. She's doing her best. Something unsettling about the ether here. There's something unsettling about everything here. What happened to them? God, just the lack of a... Is there a lack of a face? What's beneath that? Is that a face below, like with the pointing... Hey, stop. Get out of here, Wook. Stop it. Like with the nose pointing out. Friggin' Wook. Always has to be the center of attention. All right, let's do this. Overseer Kanaloka. So the subject, the Teeshal Ja, will probably be the last one. Surrender your souls to King Teeshal Ja. Dark Souls. Their ability is literally called Dark Souls. Free spirits. What does your face look like? No, there is a face underneath there. Look at all the ghosts there. Oh, this is great. This is really intensely cool. Oh, Phantom Flood. Get in, get in, get in. I won't let precious samples escape. All the hand... Look, did you see all the hands reaching out? Of course you see them. They're right there. Dark 2. Really confining you here. Are they going to do a soul extraction thing? Oh, sorry, Wook. Sorry, Wook. I apologize. That's my bad, Wook. It's kind of your bad, too, but partly my bad. Discard the flesh, extract the soul. Oh, shit. Nope, 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 nope. This is terrible. I'm going to die. I'm straight up dying here. I see what to do, and that's real. I see now what to do. It took me too long there. Stay calm and keep your distance. I understand what to do there. It took me a second to catch that. I'm guessing, by the way, that that particular thing looks like it's the mechanic people will have trouble with. Let's give it a second try, see how we feel. Discard the flesh. All right, let's get ready.
This should do it.
Get there. I think we're okay. Oh, no, we're about to die. What am I saying? We're okay. I barely healed myself up because we took so much damage from walking through the thing for a bit. Okay, but we got it. We got it. We did okay on that.
Just the beginning.
That's a cool mechanic. It's tricky. That seems like tricky no matter... But they give you a lot of time at least. So staying calm really does help there. I hope we get to do that again. Will they do that mechanic again? I worry they won't, but I kind of hope they do, because that was... I want to try that again. Yeah, I think they just do that once. That's okay. There was the same thing with the Electrope mechanic, where it's like they don't want to overload you. That's just a middle phase. All right, go team. Would that we could tame the beast, but the seal is already... Yeah, the Teeshal Ja is the big thing. What in the name of Faramazula am I looking at? This is a storm sprightly mole. It's some kind... God, that's gorgeous. That is... What the hell is that? Like the center of where the storm hit? I don't know. Sprite, everything here is sprightly. It's no longer electrically charged. This is like earthy charged. Did they open up a portal to like one of the reflections warped by wind or by earth here? Something's wrong. Don't rush ahead. There's a lot of things wrong here. What was that roar? Did it come from me? No, this has got to be something created by the Teeshal Ja. Then this has got to be like a storm-based Teeshal Ja sort of thing. The music is just this intense like build up. Like it's a little bit heroic, but mostly it just feels like it's ramping up to something, again, something major. Final boss, the source of the storm, the Teeshal Ja possessed by the research assistant. It's a killer bunny. It's a killer bunny. Luna Piatti. Alright, it's a little bit cute. It's at least a little bit cute. When a good Viera goes bad. Has that thing been sealed away this entire time? I guess so. Teeshal Ja. A rabbit Teeshal Ja. Oh, look at this arena. This wrecked crater of just, it's the dust yoke. All right. This is not the way you're supposed to do it, but I'm going to charge in because I like Korakor. Fencing note, Korakor is, oh, Raging Claw, let me get behind this. Korakor is a fencing term for when you hit someone with the, at least as far as I remember, it's a fencing term for when you hit someone with the bell of your weapon, like bop them on, or no, it's not, I'm sorry. It's when you like crash into them, body to body, Korakor. Leporine Loathe. Such strength. Do we want to not be on that, or we do want to be on that? I think we want to not be on that. And now we want to be where it was. Patience will yield us victory, yeah. Okay. And the farther out we are, the better for this one. Where was safe there? Oh, it was like an inside-outside thing. Like, inside was safe to start. I didn't see... All right, let's go over here. What is that? Was that just chunks of dirt, like worm, dirts of worm? What am I saying? Why did I get hit there? Let me get in the middle, I think. So middle is safe, right? Nope, middle is not safe. I can't even see the bottom. Look at that thing. Beastly Roar, let's sprint away, and carefully. Part of me wants to see what happens. Oh, Jesus! Run! Raging Claw, get not behind it, but get like... Yeah, there we are. I think this is good enough. Alright, thank you, Graha. Nice job. This is just the arena now. This is so cool! Is he gonna bring it back? Sonic Howl sounds like just straight up AoE damage.
No holding back.
I'm not holding back, I just don't do that much DPS. Cryle's about to post the DPS meters here. Get kicked from the... get her account banned. Slabber, what's Slabber? No idea. Some frontal AoE cone thing. So you have to wait at the far edge and then wait to see which direction it's coming from. And then it only goes fully around, I think. This should be safe, right? Ah, run! Okay. That was great. This was a great dungeon. I say that about all of them, but this was great. the monster of, and there was no signs of intelligence in there. There was no sign of like, free me, or like, I will kill you all, or how could you have done this to me? Unless they didn't actually put the person's body in there yet, and they were just saving up to try to shove the person in there later. That could be. Or it could just as easily be that they did shove a person in there and it just didn't work. Like, his personality was lost. Robe of Healing. What does this one look like? Again, they're yoinking. This is the healer robe. They're stealing my red mage style.
For all the talk of my brother felling this beast, he only imprisoned it, like Vali Armanda.
This is a beast we heard about before?
From what I could tell, they sought to transfer people's souls and memories into bestial vessels at that facility. The Tural Vidral explains the need for a remote location. It was doubtless their prime subject, though I expect Gulool Ja did not foresee the opportunities it presented when he imprisoned the creature.
It's still alive. I didn't even... It's still alive. I don't know that I want to see this echo. I do want to see this echo, but this is... I don't know where we're going here. Right, there he is. There's Mecha Gulool Ja.
And so, in order to prevent the breakdown of the individual, I instead seek to transfer their soul into the body of the beast.
This would allow one to wield the power of a Tural Vidral.
In theory, our initial experiments will involve lesser creatures. But in time, I am confident we will be able to bring even the mightiest under our control.
And what becomes of those who offer their souls?
And this is Kanaloka of the Kanaloka Corpus section of the research facility, I guess.
As they won't be able to return to their original forms, we must consider them lost. But the sacrifice will be worthwhile, for the army you stand to gain will far surpass any composed of mechanical soldiers.
And we know his army remained with mechanical soldiers, so did it not work, or did he say no? I feel like he's going to say no.
Very well.
Never mind.
Recruit volunteers and begin at once.
Just when I... No, we knew that. We knew that, but I was hoping. I keep... I feel like Gulool Ja, just like every time I look at him, it's just more... Every time I look at Gulool Ja, it's like more disappointment.
Thank you, Your Majesty. I shall return to the observatory and see to the necessary preparations.
So was the mom a researcher here then? Or was she a subject even? Ugh.
So, you've given him permission?
Teeshal Ja, you will assist Kaniloka. As one of the Land's Guard's finest chirurgeons, your knowledge may be of use in his experiments. You will also watch him closely. In what you learn, you will report to me. You object
She's not
to
all
his
about that, yeah.
project, or are you incapable of performing this duty?
Quite a charmer, Gulool Ja.
No, Your Majesty. Whether we shelter within the dome or expand beyond it, we require great power. But with no one to rely upon, we must take that power for ourselves, even if the means are questionable. I will do as you command.
So she's hesitant, but she's on board. She is on board.
But if Kaniloka's work bears fruit, I wish to beg a boon.
What do you desire?
Something that I had accepted I would never have in Tuliyollal. that I believed would forever be beyond me, that it was foolish to covet. But here and now, it is close. So very, very close.
Perform your duty to my satisfaction, and anything you desire is yours.
I'm confused right now. I am very confused right now. Why was it beyond? Because so yeah, she's talking about. For a second, I thought the way she was talking, I thought she was going to try to kick him off the ledge or something, go full on Sparta on him. But no, she does. Is she just thirsting after him? She was in the Landsguard though, so these two have worked together for a while. And why was it not? Because I was trying to think, why wasn't it possible before? It wasn't possible before because their stations were so different, but that doesn't seem like it would be an issue in their world. Why was it not possible before? Because surely she's thirsting after the Z. Is it the Z or is it the kid?
That which I seek does not lie within this dome. Here, I cannot prove the miracle.
He has to get out to prove, right? So he has to get out to prove how awesome he is.
But if what you seek is at hand, then you may claim it, for it has no value to me.
So she's not thirsting after him, I guess. She's thirsting after the possible eugenics. Is that what she wants? Does she want just the chance of having another miracle baby? This whole conversation is very strange. It's intriguing. It's intensely intriguing, but it's very strange. And this may be obvious. Maybe I'm just not picking up something that's like super clear and I'm overthinking this, but because she was saying, I want a baby. Maybe? Baby? And he was like, it doesn't matter to me, I don't care. I'm not great at subtext, so maybe... Right? Are you sharing this with Gulool Ja right there? Yes. Thirsty, you say?
Teeshal Ja. Could she be my mother?
It's sure looking that way.
Like the people in the outskirts said, few Mamulja lived in the Yasulani. I can't imagine many other Ubiko women were trapped in the dome.
Unless they already had a kid and it wasn't about thirst, it was about, like, I want the kid we already have, like, I want you to give him to me so I can watch him or whatever. But he would have given the kid to her directly anyway.
That being the case,
he didn't care.
Could well be the one.
This observatory Kanaloka returned to, could it not be part of the research facility? We might learn something about Teeshal Ja there.
Teeshal Ja.
That's where we're going next, then.
And so I think they just never had the chance to, never tried putting the researcher into the body, but again, I could be wrong about that. I wish I could see into the past like you, then I could see people who are gone. That's true. Because there aren't any other Mamulja women here. For a long time, I couldn't even imagine what my mother looked like. But when I visited Tuliyollal and saw some, I was finally able to picture her in my mind. And one day, I hope I can see what she actually looked like as well. I hope so too, but we will find out next time. Enter as a trust, or we're not going to do that for... I don't like that. Yeah, I never use that system. Anyway, that's it for me for now. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I'll see you next time as we continue with Among the Abandoned. Bye-bye.